The worst betrayals don't come with dramatic music or thunderclaps. Mine arrived on a sunny Tuesday afternoon, wrapped in the gentle buzz of my mother's iPhone notification. I am Phoebe, and until that moment, I thought I was a good daughter. The kind who worked 60-hour weeks as a financial consultant to make sure her parents lived comfortably. The kind who paid off their mortgage 10 years early. The responsible one. I'd stopped by their house, the house I'd been paying for since I was 22, to surprise them with the final mortgage statement. The front door was unlocked as usual, but nobody answered my calls. Mom's designer purse sat on the kitchen counter, next to a half-empty glass of her favourite Pinot Grigio. The house smelled of her signature lavender candles. That's when her phone lit up. "Our poor, dull daughter," the group chat notification read. I shouldn't have looked. But when you've spent a decade of your life supporting people, only to see your name attached to the words poor and dull, something snaps inside you. My fingers moved before my conscience could catch up. The phone wasn't locked. Mum never remembered her passwords. Nora. Did you see what Phoebe wore to the charity gala? That navy pantsuit again. Mum. At least she paid for the tickets, though I wish she'd bring someone other than that loud friend of hers. Dad. Hayley? Birds of a feather. Two career women who wouldn't know fun if it bit them. Nora. Can't believe she's still single. Even her bank account can't make up for that personality. Mum. Speaking of bank accounts, think she'll notice if we use the house fund for my spa weekend. Dad. She never checks, too busy colour-coding her spreadsheets. My hands were shaking. 10 years of messages, 10 years of mockery, manipulation and theft. I scrolled further, each message burning deeper than the last. Nora. Remember when she tried dating that guy from her office? He ghosted her after meeting us. Mum. Because she's exactly like I warned him. All work, no spark, just like her Aunt Martha. Dad. At least Martha had cats. Phoebe just has her precious financial reports. The sound of a car door slamming outside jolted me back to reality. I quickly placed the phone exactly where I'd found it, grabbed my bag and slipped out through the back door. As I reached my car, I heard Mum's voice floating through the kitchen window, talking to Dad. Did you get my text about Phoebe's bonus? Think we can convince her to help with the beach house renovations? I sat in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. The mortgage statement I'd brought to celebrate with them crumpled in my lap. That night, I didn't cry. Instead, I called the one person who could help me turn this nightmare into something else. Oliver Matthews, my childhood friend turned real estate attorney. Oliver, remember when you said the house contract had some interesting clauses? I need to know everything. His voice was careful, professional. The conditional gifting clause? Phoebe, what's going on? I found something today. Actually, I found everything. My voice was steady, surprising even me. Tell me how to take back what's mine. Come to my office first thing tomorrow. Bring all the documentation you have. After hanging up, I opened my laptop and began downloading 10 years of bank statements, transfer records and email threads. Every receipt, every transaction, every emergency that required my financial intervention. My phone buzzed with a text from Mum. Darling, we missed you today. Come for dinner on Friday. Your father's grilling his famous steaks. I stared at the message, at the fake warmth, hiding years of contempt. For the first time in my adult life, I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I typed a single sentence into a new document. The house that mockery built? Then I began to write everything down. Every insult, every borrowed dollar, every time they'd laughed at my expense. By midnight, I had a blueprint for something they'd never see coming, because they were right about one thing. I am methodical. I do colour code my spreadsheets, and now I was going to use those same skills to dismantle the comfortable life they built on the back of their poor, dull daughter. My phone buzzed again. Mum, Phoebe, dinner on Friday? This time I replied, wouldn't miss it. Let them think I'm predictable. Let them think I'm dull. They're about to learn that the quiet ones are the ones you should watch out for. Friday night arrived with the scent of grilled meat and fresh lies. I'd spent 3 days rehearsing my performance, practicing the same pleasant smile I'd worn for years. The folder labelled Newton Deeds Drafts sat innocently in my bag, ready for its role. Sweetheart, Mum air-kissed my cheeks, her diamond bracelet catching the light, the same bracelet I'd bought her last Christmas. You look comfortable. I smoothed my intentionally plain sweater. Thanks, Mum. Something smells amazing. Daddy's special marinade, Nora sang from the couch, not looking up from her phone. Christian's coming too. He just landed his private jet. Of course he did. I set my bag down near Mum's favourite snooping spot, the kitchen counter closest to her wine station. Dad appeared from the patio, tongs in hand. There's my responsible girl. How's work treating you? Actually, really well. I pulled out my phone. We just landed the Peterson account. Want to see the projections? Oh, honey. Mum's laugh tinkled like expensive wind chimes. Nobody wants to talk about spreadsheets at dinner. Tell us about your love life instead. I caught Nora smirking behind her phone. Nothing exciting there, I said, watching Mum's eyes light up with poorly concealed glee. But I did start an interesting new project. Property law stuff. Dad nearly dropped his tongs. Property law? Just some research. I waved dismissively. Boring, legal things about deed transfers and conditional ownership. Actually, I brought some documents to review after dinner. The doorbell saved them from responding. Christian strutted in, all white teeth and designer labels. Ladies, Peter, sorry I'm late. Had to handle some trust fund drama. Dinner was a masterclass in artificial harmony. I watched them perform their usual roles. Mum, the gracious hostess, Dad, the wise patriarch, Nora, the charming social butterfly, and Christian, the wealthy suitor. I played my part too, the dutiful, dull daughter, nodding at all the right moments. So, Christian, I said during dessert, I heard your family's real estate portfolio is expanding. He preened. Absolutely. We're acquiring properties left and right. It's all about the fine print, you know? Hidden clauses can make or break a deal. Fascinating. I reached for my bag. Actually, I have some documents. Oh, Mum jumped up. Who wants coffee? Phoebe, help me in the kitchen. In the kitchen, she gripped my arm. Darling, you're not boring everyone with work talk again, are you? Sorry, Mum, you know me. All business, no fun. Her smile tightened. At least you know your strength, sweetheart. After coffee, I made my exit, accidentally leaving the folder behind. Through my rearview mirror, I watched Mum hover by the front door, waiting until my car turned the corner. My phone buzzed 20 minutes later. Nora. Hey, sis, you left some papers here. Me. Oh, no! Important stuff. I'll grab them tomorrow. Nora. What's this about the Newton family? Me. Just research. Boring legal stuff, like always. I smiled at my phone, picturing Mom frantically flipping through the documents. Contracts with just enough highlighting to seem suspicious, property clauses that would send her running to Google, and one very interesting paragraph about revoking ownership rights. My real phone, a new one they didn't know about, lit up with notifications from their group chat. Mum. She's up to something. Those papers mention Christian's family. Nora. Think she's investigating Christian? Dad. Now, hold on. Our Phoebe doesn't have a devious bone in her body. Mum. Peter, she's your daughter. Remember your mother's will? Dad, I'll call her tomorrow. Feel her out. Right on cue, my old phone rang. Dad's number. Sweetheart, just checking in. You seemed different tonight. Different how, Dad? Just, is everything okay? At work? With your finances? I let the silence stretch uncomfortably. Actually, Dad, I've been meaning to talk to you about some financial matters. Oh! His voice rose slightly. What kind of matters? Nothing urgent. Just some paperwork I need to review about the house. Another pause. The house? Like I said, nothing urgent. We can talk next week. Love you, Dad. I hung up, imagining him scrambling to check their accounts, wondering what his boring, predictable daughter might have discovered. My new phone buzzed again. Mum, she knows something. Peter, what if she found out about the remodel money? Nora, or my Santorini fund? Dad, everyone calm down. This is Phoebe we're talking about. She probably just filed her taxes early. I closed the chat and texted Oliver. Bait taken. How long until they notice the account changes? His response came quickly. Given their spending habits, I'd say about 48 hours. Ready for phase 2? Ready, I typed back. Time to show them just how boring I can be. Oliver's office hadn't changed since we were kids sneaking in to raid his father's candy drawer. Now, 20 years later, he sat behind the same mahogany desk, reviewing my documentation with careful eyes. This is... He adjusted his glasses. Phoebe, this is extensive. I leaned forward. Tell me about the gratitude clause. Right. He pulled out a highlighted contract. When you set up the house gift, we included a standard moral conduct provision. Basically, if they demonstrate bad faith or misuse of the gift, you can revoke it. And 10 years of mockery and secret theft counts as bad faith. He spread out the printed screenshots from their group chat. This is a slam dunk. But Phoebe, he looked up, his expression softening. Are you sure you want to do this? They're still your family. Were they family when Mom told everyone at my college graduation party that I'd settle for finance because I couldn't get into medical school? I remember that day. Oliver's jaw tightened. Your dad laughed and said at least you'd make enough to support their retirement. Funny how prophecies come true. I stood up, pacing. You know what Mum said when I got my first bonus? Finally, you can replace those tragic IKEA pieces in our living room. And you did. Of course I did. I bought them a $12,000 sectional that they let Nora's dog destroy. Because nothing I give them matters. I'm just their personal ATM. Oliver started typing. I'll begin the paperwork today, but they won't go down without a fight. Good, I smiled. I'm counting on it. My phone buzzed. Mum calling. I put it on speaker. Darling, I'm worried about you. Why's that, Mum? You seem stressed lately. Maybe you should take some time off work. Come stay with us for a while. I caught Oliver rolling his eyes. Actually, Mum, I'm at my lawyer's office right now. Silence, then, lawyer? Whatever for? Just reviewing some property documents. Nothing to worry about. Property? Phoebe, is this about those papers you left here? Because I didn't... What, Mum? Didn't read them? Another pause. Of course not. I would never... Mum, I have to go. My lawyer needs me to sign some things. I hung up, watching 3 dots appear in the family chat almost immediately. They're panicking, I told Oliver. How long until the account freezes take effect? He checked his computer. The property tax account is already locked. Maintenance fund freezes tonight. You sure about the timing? Positive. Mum always pays her spa membership on the 3rd. Dad's golf dues come out on the 5th. And Nora, I smiled. Nora's Santorini deposit is due next week. You've thought of everything. I learned from the best. Dad always said attention to detail was my only talent. Oliver's face darkened. I never understood why you let them treat you like that. Because I thought if I just gave enough, proved enough, they'd finally... I stopped, swallowing hard. They'd finally love you properly? Pathetic, right? Oliver stood up, coming around his desk. No, human. But Phoebe, you deserve better than waiting for love from people who see you as their personal bank. My phone buzzed again, a text from Nora. Hey sis, weird question. Did you change the passwords on the house accounts? Can't access my travel fund. I showed Oliver the message. Should I respond? Not yet. Let them stew. As if on cue, Dad's name popped up on my screen. Phoebe? Princess? We need to talk about these account issues. Hi, Dad. In a meeting. What issues? Don't play games, young lady. Your mother is very upset. Sounds serious. Maybe we should all sit down together, have a family meeting. Now, you're being ridiculous. Just unlock the accounts. Sorry, Dad. My lawyer says I shouldn't discuss this over the phone, but I'm free next Thursday for that family meeting. I ended the call and watched the group chat explode. Mum. She's lost her mind. Nora. My deposit. What about my trip? Dad. Everyone stay calm. She's bluffing. Our Phoebe doesn't have the spine for this. That's where you're wrong, Dad, I muttered, putting my phone away. That's where you've always been wrong. Oliver handed me a stack of papers. Initial, here, and sign at the bottom. Once these are filed, there's no going back. I took the pen, remembering every dismissive comment, every stolen dollar, every fake smile. Good, I said, signing my name with a flourish, because I'm done going back. We need to talk. Nora's text came 3 days after the account freezes. Lunch? Just us sisters, please? I agreed to meet her at an overpriced bistro downtown. Her choice, naturally. She was already there when I arrived, wearing designer sunglasses and a concerned expression that would have won her an Oscar. Phoebe! She air-kissed my cheek. God, you look tired. Is work killing you? I'm fine, Nora. What's this about? She stirred her green smoothie dramatically. Can't a sister be worried? You've been acting so different lately. Different how? Like this. She gestured vaguely. All cold and suspicious. This isn't you, Phoebes. You're the reliable one, remember? I took a slow sip of water. And what are you? The fun one, obviously. She laughed, then caught herself. I mean, we all have our roles, right? You're good with money and responsibility, and I'm good with, making life interesting. Interesting enough to need a miracle daughter sandwich fund? Her smoothie glass froze halfway to her mouth. What? That's what Mum called the account you use for your trips. The one you're planning to use for Santorini. Oh, that, she waved dismissively. Just a silly name. Mum's idea of a joke. Funny. You all have interesting ideas about jokes. Nora's perfectly maintained facade cracked slightly. Look, if this is about the group chat, the one where you mock my clothes, my job, my entire existence, we were just venting. Everyone needs an outlet, and you're so dull? She had the grace to flinch. That's not what I meant. Besides, you never seemed to care about the money before. Because I trusted you. All of you. Please. She rolled her eyes. You trusted us because it was easier than admitting you were buying our love. The truth hit like a slap. I stood up, grabbing my bag. Wait! Nora grabbed my arm. I didn't mean... Look, there's something you should know. What? She glanced around, lowering her voice. Remember last year when you kept asking about missing bank notifications? Emails you never got about the house account? My blood ran cold. What did you do? Mom asked me to help manage your expectations. filter some things out. It was just a few emails. You deleted my bank notifications, and maybe some overdraft warnings. She tried for a winning smile. But it all worked out. You covered everything anyway, like always. I stared at her, this stranger wearing my sister's face. How long? What? How long have you been deleting my notifications? She squirmed. 2 years. Maybe 3. It's not a big deal, Phoebe. That's what family does. We help each other out. Help each other out, I repeated slowly. Like when you helped yourself to my credit card for that weekend in Vegas. That was an emergency. Your Instagram followers demanding a luxury hotel tour was an emergency. She leaned forward, desperation creeping into her voice. You're not actually going to take the house back, are you? You can't do that to Mum and Dad. Why not? They did worse to me. But where will they live? Where will I stay when I'm between apartments? I stood up again. This time she didn't try to stop me. You're not really going through with this, she called after me. You don't have it in you. I turned back. You know what's funny, Nora? Everyone keeps saying that. But none of you ever wondered why I'm so good with numbers, with contracts, with the fine print. Dad taught me that. Back when he thought I was worth teaching. Phoebe. He taught me to always have a backup plan, to look for leverage, to read everything twice. I smiled. I guess that makes him responsible for what happens next. What's happening next? Check your phone. Oliver just filed the paperwork. As if on cue, her phone started buzzing with notifications. I watched her face change as she read them. You can't. This isn't. Phoebe, please. What about my Santorini trip? Maybe try the Miracle Daughter Sandwich Fund. Oh wait, it's frozen. I left her there, surrounded by half-empty glasses and shattered assumptions. My phone lit up with messages from the group chat. Mum. She's filing for what? Dad. Everyone stay calm. I'm calling my lawyer. Nora. She's really doing it. She's taking everything. I switched to my chat with Oliver. It's done. Nora confirmed the deleted notifications. Add it to the file. His response was immediate. Already done. Ready for the storm. I looked back through the bistro window. Nora was crying into her phone, probably calling Mom. Ready? I typed back. Let them bring the storm. I've got receipts for everything. The notices arrived on a Monday morning. I watched from my car as the courier delivered the thick legal envelopes to my parents' house. My house, according to the newly filed documents. Mum opened the door in her yoga outfit, her face shifting from confusion to horror as she read the first page. My phone erupted immediately. What is this? Mum's voice was shrill. Property restructuring, immediate cessation of access to maintenance funds. Phoebe, have you lost your mind? Actually, Mum, I've found it, along with copies of every unauthorized withdrawal you've made. Unauthorized? We're your parents. Being my parents doesn't give you the right to steal from me. Steal? She laughed hysterically. We raised you. Everything you are is because of us. Everything I am is despite you. Dad's voice cut in. They put me on speaker. Young lady, you will stop this nonsense immediately. Or what, Dad? You'll mock me in the group chat? Tell everyone how dull and pathetic I am? Oh, wait, you already do that. Silence. Then Mum, softer now. Sweetheart, we were just teasing. Family jokes. Funny? I'm not laughing. What do you want? Dad demanded. Money? More control? What will it take to end this ridiculous power play? I want exactly what those papers say. The house returns to my sole ownership. You have 30 days to make other arrangements. Mom gasped. You'd put your own parents out on the street? No, I'm putting entitled thieves out of my house. Check your email. I've attached 10 years of unauthorized withdrawals. My lawyer calls it a pattern of financial abuse. Lawyer? Dad's voice turned dangerous. You're involving lawyers in family business? Family? I laughed. Is that what we are? Because families don't need secret group chats to tear each other down. My phone buzzed with another call. Nora. I declined it, watching her Instagram story pop up instead. A tearful selfie captioned, "When calculating, people mistake kindness for weakness." Phoebe, Mum tried again. Let's discuss this rationally. Over dinner, perhaps? I'll make your favourite. My favourite? You don't even know what that is. Last Christmas, you gave me a seafood cookbook. I'm allergic to shellfish. That's not... I didn't... Save it. The papers have been filed. You have 30 days. I hung up and drove to Hayley's office. She was waiting with coffee and a wicked grin. Well, did they get the notices? Just now. Mum's probably breaking her favourite wine glass as we speak. Good. Hayley handed me a coffee. I was getting tired of watching them treat you like their personal bank. My phone buzzed again. A text from Oliver. They've hired Patricia Mills. Good lawyer, but she can't fight solid documentation. Ready for the next step? Before I could reply, an email notification popped up. A local news blog requesting comment on Peter Webb's charitable foundation discrepancies. What's that about? Hayley peered at my screen. Anonymous tip about Dad's creative accounting with donor funds. Funny how karma works. My phone lit up with the group chat. Mum, the news is calling about your father's foundation. What have you done? Nora, Christian's family saw the story. He's not answering my calls. Dad, this ends now. Family meeting tonight. They want a family meeting, I told Hayley. Are you going? Of course, I've got 10 years of receipts to share. Hayley squeezed my hand. Want backup? No, it's time I face them alone. My phone buzzed one more time. Oliver again. Don't let them manipulate you. Remember, you have all the power now. I smiled, remembering all the times they'd called me powerless, predictable, pathetic. They never realised that every spreadsheet, every careful record, every documented transfer was building toward this moment. Meetings at 7, I texted back. Have the final papers ready. Mum, Phoebe, please, we can work this out. Dad, don't destroy this family over a misunderstanding. Nora, my followers are asking questions. My brand is family values. I silenced the notifications and looked at Hayley. Think they'll finally understand what they've done? Honestly, no. Narcissists never do. But they'll understand what they've lost. I gathered my things, straightening my jacket. Then it's time for the dull daughter to show them exactly what she's learned from their lessons. Give them hell, Hayley called as I left. I smiled, thinking of the documents waiting in my briefcase. 10 years of careful planning, hidden behind the mask of dutiful daughter. They wanted a family meeting? Fine. Let's see how they handle the truth when it comes with receipts. They arranged the intervention like a theatre production. When I arrived at 7, they were already positioned. Mum and Dad on the couch, Nora perched on the armrest, and a surprise guest, their pastor, Robert, sitting in Dad's favourite armchair. Phoebe, Mum stretched out her arms. We're here because we love you. Interesting timing for love. I remained standing. Is it because the bank accounts are frozen, or because Dad's foundation is under investigation? Please, sit. Pastor Robert gestured to the empty chair facing them all. Your family is deeply concerned about your recent behaviour. My behaviour? I pulled out my phone. Should we review everyone's behaviour? Put that away, Dad snapped. This isn't about phones or messages or money. This is about you becoming someone we don't recognise. Finally, we agree on something. You never did recognize me. Not really. Nora dabbed at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. Christian broke up with me because of your vindictive actions. My influencer contracts are being cancelled. Tragic. Maybe you can influence your way into a real job. You see? Mum turned to Pastor Robert. This isn't our Phoebe. She's become cruel. I opened my briefcase. Cruel? Let's talk about cruel. Phoebe, Dad started. Let's start with the credit card statements. I laid out papers on the coffee table. Specifically, the spa treatments you charged to my backup card while calling me a workaholic hermit in your group chat. Mum's face paled. Those messages were private. Nothing's private when you don't lock your phone, Mum. Next, let's discuss the house maintenance fund that mysteriously paid for Nora's emergency lip fillers. That was a business expense, Nora protested, and Dad's foundation. I turned to him. Should we show Pastor Robert where donor money really went? Pastor Robert cleared his throat. Perhaps we should focus on healing. Oh, I'm focused. I pulled out more papers. 10 years of receipts, 10 years of unauthorized withdrawals, 10 years of watching you laugh at me while spending my money. We're your parents, Mum's voice cracked. Everything we did was for this family. Family? I played the audio I'd recorded at lunch with Nora. Her voice filled the room, confessing to deleting my bank notifications. Dad stood up, face red. Turn that off. Why? Ashamed to hear the truth? Or just angry you got caught? You're acting like a sociopath, Nora whispered. No, I'm acting like your father's daughter. Isn't that right, Dad? You taught me to always keep records, to look for leverage, to protect myself. I taught you to respect your family. You taught me that love comes with conditions, that I'm only worth what I can provide. I turned to Pastor Robert. Did they tell you about the group chat? About how they called me their poor, dull daughter while stealing my money? The pastor shifted uncomfortably. Perhaps we should pray together. Save your prayers. I brought copies for everyone. I distributed thick folders. Every message, every transaction, every lie. Mum started crying. Not the delicate tears she used at charity events. Ugly, mascara-running sobs. What do you want? Dad's voice was quiet now. Dangerous. I want what's mine. The house. My money. My self-respect. We'll pay you back, he offered. With what? The foundation money you misappropriated? Nora's influencer earnings? I'm your father. No. I stood up straight. You're a man who raised a daughter to believe she was worthless unless she was useful. Who taught her that love had to be bought? Who laughed while she tried to earn your approval with every paycheck? Phoebe, please, Mom reached for me. We can fix this. It's already fixed. The house is mine. You have 30 days, and every cent you took, it's being calculated with interest. My phone buzzed. Oliver texting. Their lawyer just called. They're going to fight the house claim. I smiled, showing them the message. Good luck with that. I learned from the best, remember. Every detail documented, every clause ironclad. You'd really do this to us? Nora's voice was small. No, you did this to yourselves. I'm just finally showing you the bill. I packed my briefcase, leaving the damning folders behind. At the door, I turned back one last time. Pastor Robert, you might want to audit those foundation accounts. The numbers are interesting. Dad's face went from red to white. Mum collapsed into fresh sobs. Nora stared at her phone, probably calculating how many followers she'd lose when this went public. As I walked to my car, another text from Oliver arrived. Ready for court? I looked back at the house. My house, and the family who thought they could break me. Ready? I replied. Time to show them exactly how dull I'm not. The courthouse was colder than I expected. My family sat on the opposite side of the room, their lawyer Patricia whispering urgently in their ears. Mum wore her sympathy outfit, the same black dress she'd worn to 3 different funeral services. Dad stared straight ahead, jaw clenched. Nora scrolled through her phone, probably watching her follower count drop. Oliver adjusted his tie. Ready? Born ready. The judge entered, a stern-faced woman in her 60s. She reviewed the initial documents with sharp eyes. Quite the family matter we have here, she noted. Ms. Mills, your clients are contesting the property transfer on what grounds? Patricia stood. Your Honour, this is a clear case of familial manipulation. My clients provided love, support, and guidance. Objection, Oliver interrupted. Counsel is editorialising. The facts show systematic financial abuse. Proceed with evidence, the judge ordered. Oliver projected the first screenshot onto the courtroom screen. Mum's message glowed larger than life. Just took $5,000 from the house account for my spa weekend. Poor dull Phoebe won't notice. She's too busy with her spreadsheets. More messages followed. Dad discussing redirected foundation funds. Nora bragging about deleted bank notifications. Each message landed like a hammer, cracking their carefully constructed facade. Your Honour, Patricia tried again. Private family communications taken out of context. Context? I stood up. I'd like to make a statement. The judge nodded. Proceed. I walked to the podium, facing my family directly. For 10 years, I supported them. Every mortgage payment, every renovation, every emergency withdrawal. I did it because I thought that's what love looked like, giving everything and expecting nothing. Mum started to speak, but the judge silenced her. They called me dull because I worked 60-hour weeks to pay their bills. They called me poor while spending my money. They called me pathetic while deleting evidence of their theft. Oliver displayed the bank records, hundreds of unauthorised transactions, each highlighted in damning yellow. My father taught me to keep records. My mother taught me that love had to be earned. My sister taught me that family loyalty means nothing when Instagram followers are at stake. Nora burst into tears, not the pretty kind she used in her social media posts, real, ugly sobs. So, yes, I documented everything. Every insult, every theft, every lie. They thought I was too dull to notice, too reliable to fight back. They were wrong. The judge reviewed the financial statements. Ms. Mills, how do your clients explain these unauthorised withdrawals? Family understanding, Patricia offered weakly. Informal arrangements that they mocked in writing, Oliver interjected, displaying more screenshots. The judge held up her hand. I've seen enough. This court finds clear evidence of financial abuse and breach of conditional gift terms. The property reverts to the plaintiff's ownership, effective immediately. Defendants have 30 days to vacate. But where will we go? Mum wailed. Perhaps, the judge suggested dryly. You should have considered that before spending your daughter's money on spa treatments. Outside the courtroom, Dad called up to me. Phoebe, wait. His voice was different now, desperate. I'm sorry. We're all sorry. We never meant to get caught, to hurt you. You're my daughter, my flesh and blood. Funny how you remember that now. Please. He grabbed my arm. I taught you everything you know about business, about contracts, about protecting yourself. Yes, I pulled away. You did, and I learned well. My phone buzzed. A news alert about Dad's foundation. The investigation was going public. I can explain that, he said quickly. It's not what it looks like. Save it for the investigators. Mum appeared, mascara streaking her cheeks. Phoebe, darling, surely we can work something out. A payment plan, perhaps? Like the one you ignored for 10 years? Nora joined them, her face pale. Christian's family is cancelling the engagement. My sponsors are dropping me. My whole life is ruined. Welcome to Consequences, I said. They're not as fun as Santorini, but they're more educational. Oliver touched my elbow. Car's ready. I turned to leave, but Dad called out one last time. You'll regret this, turning against your own family. I faced them one final time. You know what I regret, believing that your love was worth the price you made me pay for it. Walking away, I heard Mum collapse into fresh tears, Dad cursing under his breath, and Nora's phone pinging with more lost followers. Oliver opened the car door. You okay? Better than okay. I smiled, watching my family huddle together in the courthouse shadow. I'm free. My phone buzzed with a text from Haley. Drinks to celebrate? Yes, I replied. And this time, I'm buying, with my own money in my own name for my real family. Behind us, the courthouse doors closed on the sound of my mother's sobs, marking the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. One where being dull meant being powerful enough to reclaim what was mine. The moving truck pulled away from my parents' condo complex, leaving them standing in the parking lot with what remained of their designer life. I watched through my car's window as Mom clutched her Hermes bag, probably the last one she'd owned for a while. That's the last load, Oliver said, closing his laptop. House is officially empty. I turned the key in the ignition. Take me home. The house looked different now. Empty of their furniture, stripped of Mum's precious artwork. It felt lighter somehow. My footsteps echoed on the hardwood floors they'd insisted I replace last summer. Strange you being here? Oliver asked. Not strange. Right. Haley arrived with takeout and champagne. Found this in my Instagram feed, she said, showing me her phone. Nora's latest post, a tearful confession video about toxic privilege and learning hard lessons. The comments were brutal. She's working at PowerFit Gym now, I said. Front desk. And your parents? Dad's foundation is under federal investigation. Mum's selling her jewellery collection. I popped the champagne. They're downsizing to a 2-bedroom condo. No spa membership. Oliver raised his glass. To karma. To consequences, Haley added. To peace, I said quietly. My phone buzzed. A text from Mum. The condo's garbage disposal is broken. Can you send someone? I showed Oliver and Haley. They waited watching me type. Try calling a plumber. I hear they take credit cards. Brutal, Haley grinned. Necessary, I corrected. Oliver pulled something from his briefcase, an antique key on a silk ribbon. House-warming gift, or rather, house-reclaiming gift. It's beautiful. It's symbolic. New locks, new life, new rules. Haley raised her glass again. 2 new rules. The doorbell rang. My heart stuttered until I checked the security camera. Just the local news reporter who'd broken Dad's foundation story. Ms. Webb, care to comment on your father's legal troubles? I opened the door. Actually, yes. Would you like to come in? The reporter, Sarah, sat in my kitchen, recorder running. Your father claims you orchestrated this investigation out of spite. I orchestrated nothing. I simply stopped hiding his secrets. And your mother? Sources say she's selling her belongings. Consequences have prices. They chose to pay with designer handbags. Sarah leaned forward. Why, now, after 10 years of supporting them? I showed her the group chat screenshots. Her eyes widened. They called you their poor, dull daughter while spending your money? While stealing my money, I corrected. There's a difference. And your sister, the influencer? Former influencer, currently learning about honest work. After Sarah left, Oliver touched my hand. You okay? Better than okay. I'm done hiding their secrets. Done protecting their lies. Good. He hesitated. Listen, there's this new restaurant downtown. Hayley suddenly remembered an urgent appointment, subtle as a sledgehammer. After she left, Oliver and I stood in my kitchen, surrounded by empty spaces waiting to be filled. "About that restaurant," I said. "Friday, 7 o'clock. It's a date." My phone buzzed again. "Nora, my followers keep asking about the foundation scandal. What should I say?" I typed back. "Try telling the truth. It's surprisingly liberating." Oliver read over my shoulder. "Think she will? Doesn't matter. Truth has a way of coming out anyway." We ordered pizza and sat on the floor of my empty living room, planning where my furniture would go. No more antiques I couldn't afford. No more designer pieces I didn't want. Just my style, my choices, my life. "Your parents will try again," Oliver warned. "They'll get desperate." "Let them. I'm done being their ATM. And Nora? She'll learn, or she won't. Not my problem anymore." The sunset painted my walls gold. Walls I'd paint whatever colour I wanted. My phone buzzed one last time. "Dad. Princess, please, we can fix this. Family should stick together." I showed Oliver the message before deleting it. "You know what I learned?" I said. "Family isn't about sticking together. It's about standing up for yourself, even when the people who should love you don't." "To standing up?" Oliver raised his pizza slice. "To standing up," I agreed, "and to being wonderfully, powerfully dull." We sat in my empty house, surrounded by possibility, watching the sun set on my old life and rise on something new. Something true, something mine. Let them call me dull. Let them call me cruel. Let them call me whatever they want. I know what I am now. Free.